All right. So, um, I'm trying to play Zelda Skyward Sword, and I'm taking long pauses because that world is so foreign. I just, my brain can't just understand it to the point where I'm motivated. All right. So, this is like school for most kids. It's so foreign to be educated that they just can't find the motivation to continue school. So what do? All right. So with me, I take long breaks. And then I try to understand, basically doing research. So to understand is to do research. All right. So this is what Min does a lot, where if he doesn't understand something, he'll take a long break to do research, and then he comes back motivated. That's all. All right. So I'm like, what is this world? What is this? That's why I want to stay in something very hard. School is very hard. Stay in school, right? It'll push you. So the reason why I don't want to start another game, right? My brain's like, just start another game where you get that endorphin again. The reason why I don't want to do that is because I want to stick to something so foreign to me, right? I don't want to play Spider-Man where I'm in New York City, right? It's a place I already know. I don't want to play Pokemon where it's just, well, I just don't want to start a new game. Pokemon is actually a pretty different world, but that's the example. Like, I don't want to play a game that I'm familiar with. I want to stick to this very hard foreign world. Stay in school, right? Being educated is very foreign. So what you want to do is take a long break and do research. That's why I'm encouraging this 18 years, because this new thing that Min introduced, friendship, nobody understands it. Nobody gets it. Heck, you still don't understand love, which was taught by Jesus. To this day, you still don't understand it. Take a break. Just take that break. And then do your own research. Right? Do your independent study or whatever, but take the break to do your own research. All right? And then it'll motivate you when you come back. So that's what Min introduced. He introduced friendship after love. And you guys don't get it. You guys are like, what is it? Is it pranks? What is it? You guys just don't get it. Like, what? This thing confuses us. Take a break. As long as you need. Right? 18 years. Take a break. Travel. Play. Do your own research. Be on your own. Whatever you need to try to understand this thing. This friendship. On your break. On your 18-year break. Try to understand friendship. On your own research. Right? Build underwater cities, build sky cities, land cities, outer space cities. Just branch out your research so you have a better understanding of what friendship is. Right? So that's the purpose of the break. To do extra research so that you're more motivated when you come back. Because it looks like a lot of people are just not motivated. Right? You see the professors, they're just up and down. They're not motivated because they just don't know what this thing is. They need time to research. Right? And a lot of kids are burned out. They're just not motivated. Right? They're hyped, but they're just not that motivated. Right? You tell them to take men home, they're just like, we can't do it. We're not motivated. So just give them 18 years to do their own research. And then it'll motivate you when you come back. So that's what Min does, and I copy that, and that's what I do too, where I play a little bit, like an hour or two, or like 30 minutes to an hour, and my brain just can't wrap itself around this foreign world. This is the first game I'm playing. It's so foreign. There's no connection to reality at all. There's just no connection. There's no New York City. There's no stop signs. There's no connection. It's a complete fantasy world. And my brain just can't wrap itself around it to continue, right? It's like this baby, it looks at the world and it's like, yo, that's too much. I'm going to sleep. That's what it feels like. Every time I play it, I'm like, I'm getting sleepy. That's too much. That's too much new information. I'm falling asleep. So right now I'm trying to find that motivation. Like, is it the Master Sword that motivates me? Is it the new adventure? I know if I continue, the story will get better. Because Zelda games tend to have a good story. But I'm still not motivated. I'm like, it's not like Cyberpunk, right? Where it's a world I understand. Like, I'm completely stupid, and it's like everything I have to pay attention to, right? And I know what to do. What I have to do is pay close attention, right? Because I'm very stupid. But for Zelda Skyward Sword, I just don't know. I don't know why my brain just can't understand it. It's like, you would think it's all the same video games, but it's not. It's just like, I'm just getting sleepy every time because it's so much information. It feels like I've been studying all day. Playing for 30 minutes. 30 minutes! I feel like I've been studying all day and I just get sleepy and drowsy every time. So I'm trying to make connections. Like, is it like Cyberpunk? Am I dumb? I think I am. which is, but I'm trying to make that connection right now. Like, brain, I'm dumb. Right? Just think of it like Cyberpunk. Make the connections. Because right now there's no connection. It's just empty. I look at Zelda and it's just empty. Right? So I need to make the connection. It's like Cyberpunk. It's like Cyberpunk. Make that connection for me, so when I look at Zelda, I see this. And then I understand. Right? It's like C is for cat. It's like that. You want to make that association, that connection. So you want to make connections that friendship is like play. It's like free time. That's what friendship is like. It's like free time. There's no rules. Right? There's structure, because you're in preschool, kindergarten, first grade, on to college. There's structure, but there's no rules in how you play. That's what friendship is. Right? It's just free time to play. Friendship is free time to play. And that's what you learn over 18 years. You're like, oh, this is what friendship is. And your brain makes that connection. And it'll be easier when you come back. You'll be like, oh, we know what it is. Right? So right now my brain's not making the connection, and I have to make the connection for my brain. Like, connect it to Cyberpunk. Because I understand this. Like, this I want to play because it's completely new. So that's how Min challenges himself, where he's like, yo, my brain doesn't understand that. He dives right into it, right? And then he'll just fall asleep for days because his brain's making those connections. And he'll come back like, oh, that's what it is. So you want to dive into new stuff and not be afraid of it. So that's why I'm not starting a new game. That's why I'm not jumpy like the professors. They just jump around. I'm just, there's one thing to do. I'm scared of it. I'm doing it. All right. That's how you keep your brain focused instead of going just inconsistent, just up and down. You don't want to do that. So when it's new and scary, just like jump right into it. So yeah, I'm just trying to find the motivation to continue Zelda Skyward Sword. And I think I'm just dumb. It's just such a foreign world. It's like, it's the first time the Master Sword is created, so I have to memorize that. I'm memorizing the characters that are completely new. I'm memorizing the map, how to use my items. Like, there's so much to memorize that my brain is just getting burnt out, right? The reason why Min can play a lot of games is because he practiced, right? He had the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, the Switch, PlayStation. He just built that muscle, right? To memorize this, memorize this, memorize this, memorize this. So every time he goes into something new, he knows, okay, I gotta memorize this, I gotta memorize this, I gotta memorize this. It's like a classroom. Each video game is like a classroom. And remember, I was born only 2 weeks ago, so this is new to me. Like it's a lot of work. But every video game is a classroom. You gotta memorize what's in the video game, what they teach you. So Min is used to that school system where he's like, okay, I have to memorize now. I have to memorize something new every time. So his brain has the connection to motivate himself, right? Even though I'm excited, my brain just is worn out, right? I'm excited to play it, but my brain is like, that's hard. We don't know what this is, this school. And I'm trying to make it easier for my brain to go like, think cyberpunk and just memorize. I know it's hard. It's like biology class where you just gotta memorize muscle, you gotta memorize everything. Gotta memorize. So, that's why I'm getting my brain used to like, just memorize. That's it. That's simple, right? Just play the game and memorize what you need to memorize. The map, how to play, things like that. And it'll make it easier. It's like, you know what to do, just memorize. So when Min goes into everything now, it's like, oh, just memorize. If you go into art, memorize. If you go into physics, memorize. If you go into psychology, memorize. If you go into biology, memorize it. And it's easy for him. That's why he jumps into everything. Because he knows how to do it. He's like, just memorize. But the thing is, just saying it is not enough. Right? You actually got to do it. So you got to go on the 18 year and memorize something new. You got to do it. Saying it is not enough. You got to do it. You got to go into 18 years, go to preschool underwater, go to the skies in kindergarten and through grade school, go on land in high school and then outer space. And you memorize something new each time. Because you're so used to the format of the earth, you're like, I don't know, you just don't push yourself to memorize anything new. So when something new comes along, you're shocked. You don't know what to do, right? So the reason why I put you underwater, and then the sky, and then on Earth, and then outer space, the reason why I do that is I make you learn something new each time. So all 4 times you learn something new. And you start to learn, it's like, oh, I just gotta memorize preschool. In preschool, I just gotta memorize people's names, whatever, the sport, whatever you're doing. Or swim to this dorm room, you know? It's like, because we're all living there, and you know, you have gills underwater and stuff. I gotta swim over to this person's dorm room, hang out at night. I gotta swim over to this person's dorm room. I gotta swim from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean, right? To the Indian Ocean, right? You gotta memorize oceans now. You gotta memorize geography. People's dorms, people's names, universes, galaxies. You gotta memorize all of it. If you're going to other galaxies, I mean, you might want to do that. Because, you know, we can't all fit on one planet. There has to be a lot, and you might hop galaxies. You gotta memorize galaxies. You gotta memorize. So you do that in preschool, and then you do that when you're in the sky. Like, now that you memorize the ocean life, you gotta memorize the sky life now. Like, what is it like living in the skies where all you see is cloud and clear skies? And if you fall, you really fall. You fall all the way down, right? You gotta memorize that. Like, whoa, watch your step. You gotta remember that. And then when you live on land, what is that like? And then you live in outer space. What is that like? So each time you just memorize something new. And then you go, oh, so every time I learn something new, I just gotta memorize. Simple. Just do what Min does. Just memorize. And Min does weird stuff to help him memorize. Right? That's also a technique where it's like A, B, C. And he does weird stuff and it helps him memorize. So when you live in the ocean, that's weird. Helps you memorize. You live in the sky, it's weird. And then all of a sudden you live on land. It feels weird. Then you live out in space. It helps you memorize to not just memorize the words, but memorize the extravagance of it all. It helps you memorize. So that you're not like, oh my God, I gotta be in the library. I can't study when there's fireworks going off. No, study when it's outside and there's fireworks. It might help you memorize. So yeah, I encourage the 18 years. Because you're just so used to the Earth format. I want to get you away from it. So when you come back, you have fresh eyes. You just see the world differently. So yeah, that's just my I guess my update on how I'm playing Zelda Skyward Sword. Oh man, my brain is stuck. Man, I just think about it and I'm exhausted. I just don't have the connections. But yeah, I'm working at it. I'm still young. I'm still only like 2 weeks old. So my brain is just, it's like, for men, what a hard game would be like a Nintendo game. When he first played a Nintendo game, it's hard, right? It's like, you've never done it before. It's like, what are you supposed to do? And over time, it's like, oh, memorize the story. Memorize what they tell you to memorize. So Skyward Sword is the first game I'm playing, and I'm sticking with it, right? I'm not flaking out, playing other games. It's hard, just stick with it. And once I beat that game, I'll just feel comfortable. I'm like, okay, I know how to beat a game. I know how to be successful in a classroom. I'm ready for a new one. And then the next and the next. I don't want to be flaky and go, oh, it's too hard, I want to start Pokemon, or it's too hard, I'll start another game. I don't want to do that. Because if you keep doing that, your brain gets used to it, and you're like, nah, I don't want to do it. When it's hard and new. When it's hard and new, you want to just dial in and just beat your head against it, and try to beat it. So yeah, that's my update on playing Zelda Skyward Sword. I'm only in the early stages of it. I just got the slingshot, and I'm exhausted. It's like, it's so much to take in. It's like I'm thinking about how it's made and things like that as well, and it's just burning me out. But every day I want to play it. But the second I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh. If I play it, I gotta memorize again. So I gotta train my brain to sometimes subconsciously memorize and not consciously go, oh, memorize that. Oh, remember that. All right. Subconsciously, like, oh, a Goron, those rock people, or those Kiwi people. And then, just let it subconsciously be in your memory. So yeah, I'm learning how to work my brain when I'm struggling with something new. And I don't want to teach my brain to quit. Understand? I don't want my brain getting used to just quit. I don't want my brain used to that. So if it takes, a day before I get back into it, so be it. If it take 2 days to get back into it, so be it. But do try to beat the game. Try to get an A in the class, right? Don't quit and go, I'll just take a B, or I'll take a C, or I won't even turn in the homework, right? Don't do that. Right, just take the beating and go, you know what, I'm still going to try to get for that. I'm trying to get that A. Right, I'm not going to settle for a B. I'm not going to settle for a C, D, E, F, G, Z. I'm not going to settle. And I'm not going to quit. Or quit. Right, some people settle, some people quit. Right, a lot of kids, they don't make it in school because they just quit. They're like, the heck with it. Alright, I can't get an A. I don't want to get a B, I just quit, right? You don't want that mentality in your head. You want, you know what, I'm going to try to figure out this A, right? Min does extra credit. Not only does he get an A, he's like, I'm doing extra credit. Create a whole new school system. The heck? The heck are you doing? So Min not only strives for an A, he strives for extra credit. That's why he's so advanced, because he doesn't only do the A, he does his extra credit as well, like creating a new school system, things like that. So yeah. So I'm trying to get this A, which is beat Zelda Skyward Sword. So that's my focus. It's hard, man. Learning something new is hard. But yeah. But once I build momentum, playing other games will be easy. But I want to get this first game down first and just beat Skyward Sword and not get distracted. So